Hello, good evening and salam Malaysia Badani. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brendan Lepol and you're watching Malaysia Tonight. Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Abdullah Riyatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah said the government must double its efforts to continue strengthening and modernising the Malaysian Armed Forces or ATM. The ATM Supreme Commander said this was necessary as the world was witnessing a clash between traditional global superpowers and the emergence of new ones. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong said all these calls for the establishment of a credible, high-tech ATM that can be adapted to face various threats.
Kerajaan Berita juga wajar memberikan tumpuan dalam menjaga aspek kebajikan dan kesejahteraan warga Angkatan Tentera Malaysia serta keluarga mereka.
His Majesty said this at the passing out parade and commissioning of ATM cadet officers for the year 2023 at Camp Perdana, Sungai Besi today. Also gracing the event was Raja Pemaisuri Agong Tunku Azizah Aminah Maimunah Iskandaria. His Majesty also said that the plight of ATM veterans must continue to be championed and that they must be given the necessary help required. At the ceremony, the Yang di-Pertuan Agong handed over letters of commission to 228 ATM cadet officers who had graduated with bachelor degrees from Universiti Pertahanan Nasional Malaysia, UPNM. Politicians should not drag the royal institution, including the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, into political discussions, said Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim. He said this is because the position and stature of the Malay rulers differ from their subjects, and the sovereignty of the royal institution should be respected by all parties.
Kena faham, sistem raja kalau nak pertahan, inilah cara dia. Saya kalau ada saya penangan, saya rasa berbeza pandangan, saya pergi menghadap, ampun tuanku, patik rasa begini. Begitu cara dia. Ya. Ini saudara kena harus faham. Nak jaga, nak selamatkan negara ini atau nak ikut sentimen kaum dan pahaman kolot masing-masing, nak ikut marah masing-masing, tak jalan.
He said this when officiating the Usahawan Desa KUD at Sungai Besar Mini Carnival and Sentuhan Kasih Desa Selangor program at the Sungai Besar Stadium in Sabak Bernam today. As such, Datuk Seri Anwar said all parties should not offend the Malay rulers or they would have to bear the legal action taken against them. The Central Committee for the Application for Filming and Performance by Foreign Artists, PUSPAL, has been asked to provide a list of improvements next week to regulate the approval of performances by foreign artists in the country. Communications and Digital Minister Fahmi Fadil said the list was needed as a preventive measure to avoid a recurrence of disrespectful actions. He cited an incident committed by British band The 1975 during the performance at Good Vibes Festival 2023 in Sepang on Friday night.
Untuk pastikan ia tidak berulang, saya telah mengarahkan supaya PUSPAL memberi kepada saya minggu depan senarai penambahbaikan ataupun pembetulan yang mungkin ataupun klarifikasi yang perlu dibuat dalam sama ada sebarang tata cara permohonan.
Met after a Madani community event today, he added that he had met with PUSPAL in June and was told that they did not receive any application for the participation of the 1975 in the festival. He said the organisers, however, appealed and attached a letter of undertaking stating that they would be fully responsible for the band's concert. During the last night's performance, the vocalist of the 1975, Matty Healy, was accused of holding a bottle of alcohol on stage and behaving obscenely while slamming Malaysia's laws on lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender or LGBT. The incident prompted PUSPAL to blacklist the British band from performing in Malaysia. The Royal Malaysian Customs Department, JKDM, seized 250 kilograms of MDMA and ketamine, worth 18.2 million ringgit, at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport Air Cargo Complex in Sepang on 18 July. Customs Director Dato' Zazuli Johan said in the incident at about 6 p.m, JKDM seized a total of 18 boxes with 12 containing transparent plastic packages, suspected MDMA, weighing 232.05 kilograms. Estimated to be worth 17 million ringgit. He said the modus operandi of the syndicate was to declare the items as car accessories to avoid detection. Dato' Zazuli said preliminary investigations found that the merchandise was imported from a country in Europe and landed at the KLIA cargo complex as the final destination, and that the drug supply was intended for the domestic market. According to him, intelligence showed that the importer used a false declaration in the importation document, making it difficult to arrest the importer. He said investigations, however, are still underway to track down the suspect, who is believed to be a local citizen, and the case is being investigated under Section 39B, Subsection 1, Subsection A of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952. A helicopter crashed at the apron of Uni KL MIAT hangar near Sultan Abdul Aziz Shah Airport in Subang, but all 7 on board were safe. Civil Aviation Authority of Malaysia CAAM Chief Executive Officer Captain Nur Azman Mahmud said the helicopter, a Leonardo SPA AW189, operated by the Fire and Rescue Department, was conducting a test flight when the incident occurred. He said the Subang Air Traffic Control Tower received a report on the crash at 11:52 a.m. today, and the Airport Fire and Rescue Service, AFRS, responded to the crash immediately. A total of 7 on board, including the pilot, are reported to be in stable condition. In a release statement, Captain Nur Azman said the safety investigation will be conducted by the Air Accident Investigation Bureau under the Transport Ministry. It will be in accordance with Part 26 of the Civil Aviation Regulations 2016. Coming up in our foreign segment, Hun Sen set to win another one-sided election. Stay with us. Hopes faded for the survival of dozens missing after a landslide smashed into a village in India as rescuers battled rains and difficult terrain. India's National Disaster Response Force said so far 22 people have been confirmed dead since the landslide on Thursday. Heavy equipment cannot be brought to the hilly, forested site in Rakyat district, and emergency personnel scrambled at mounds of earth and rubble as families tried to hold back their tears. India has been battered by rain since the start of the monsoon season in June, and flooding and landslides have killed scores of people. Monsoon rains are vital to replenishing rivers and groundwater, but the deluge also causes widespread destruction every year. Experts say climate change is increasing the number of extreme weather events around the world, with damming, deforestation, and development projects in India exacerbating the human toll. Cambodia's National Election Committee, NEC, gathered to organize and set up polling stations today, a day ahead of the country's general election, in which about 9.7 million out of its 16 million population are eligible to vote. In Phnom Penh's Chak Tumuk High School, NEC members turned classrooms into polling stations with election signs, banners and voting booths. Polling stations will open tomorrow from 7 a.m. until 3 p.m. local time, and a preliminary results is expected in the evening. Aside from the ruling Cambodian People's Party, CPP, or Prime Minister Hun Sen, there are 17 parties running. However, most are obscure, and none have the clout or resources to mount a challenge to the CPP, which won all 125 assembly seats in the 2018 election. Hun Sen's eldest son and chosen successor hailed Victory Day in a final rambunctious rally yesterday, ahead of the one-sided elections that his father's ruling party is guaranteed to win. One of the world's longest-serving rulers, Hun Sen, has played off tensions between the United States and China to buttress his grip on power, and critics say that more than 30 years after UN-brokered peace accords ended decades of bloody conflict, his rule has left Cambodian democracy in a sorry state. Greece today is facing its hottest July weekend in 50 years, with temperatures forecast to soar above 40 degrees Celsius, while the record-breaking heat wave stretching across the southern United States was expected to expand in the coming days. Tourist attractions in Greece have reduced opening hours to cope with the ongoing heat wave that has gripped the Mediterranean country this summer and sparked dozens of wildfires. As scorching temperatures continue to prevail, the Greek Ministry of Culture announced that all archaeological sites will be closed during the hottest hours of the day, a measure tentatively scheduled to last until tomorrow. This includes the country's most popular tourist attraction, the Acropolis in Athens. Temperatures were recorded between 35 to 40 degrees Celsius in most parts of the country on Friday, and central Greece saw a high of 43 degrees Celsius. The country is preparing for even higher temperatures over the weekend, as a peak of 45 degrees Celsius is expected to hit eastern and central Greece. A total of 52 new fires were reported on Friday, bringing the total number of fires throughout the country to 79, with no casualties reported. Tens of millions of people in the northern hemisphere have been suffering through intense heat this summer, as the world appears to be headed for its hottest July on record. Coming up in sports, Kuching City settled for draw with Kelantan United. Stay with us.
Dengan misi mesti menang, semangat perjuangan terus diledakkan dalam setiap pertembungan. 14 pasukan, satu sorakan. Liga Super 2023 bersama kami di RTM, rakan penyiar MFL Liga Malaysia 2023.
Nathaniel Seringoringo's indecisive, or rather incisive, free kick ended Kuching City FC's dream of ending their 15-game winless drought with a 2-2 draw against Kelantan United FC in the 2023 Super League at the Stadium Negeri Sarawak last night. The action in the first half saw the visitors first surprise the hosts when Kelantan FC skipper Muhammad Hafizan Ghazali opened the scoring with a powerful shot in the 4th minute. In the second half, Kuching City striker Abu Kamara equalised terms at 1-1 in the 58th minute. It was to coach Kamaluddin Akil's delight when Kuching City took the lead after Kamara crafted his second goal through a penalty kick 10 minutes later. But Seringoringo ensured Kelantan did not go home empty-handed with an equaliser for 2-2 in the 79th minute. Last night results saw Kuching City move up one rung after overtaking Kelantan United FC to go into 12th position in the Super League with 7 points, while Kelantan wallowed at the bottom with 5 points. And in women's football, Swedish striker Kosovar Asllani today said Sweden are determined to shake off a run of near misses at major tournaments and are comfortable with their status as a top contender as they begin their quest for a Women's World Cup title against South Africa tomorrow. Ranked third in the world, Sweden are traditionally a superpower in the women's game, but their only triumph at a major tournament came at the 1984 European Championship. Sweden reached last year's Euro semi-finals, lost the Olympic gold to Canada on penalties at the 2020 Tokyo Games, and were third at the 2019 World Cup. Their best finish at the Global Soccer Showpiece was in 2003, when they were runners-up. Coach Peter Gerhardsson said Asllani will captain Sweden in their Group G opener in Wellington tomorrow. Gerhardsson revealed that regular skipper Caroline Seger trained today but will start against South Africa on the bench. The 38-year-old midfielder was included in the 23-player squad despite a lengthy struggle to overcome a stubborn calf problem. Still in football, Kylian Mbappe has not been included in Paris Saint-Germain's squad for their Asian pre-season tour, amid reports that he has been put up for sale by the Liga A side. Relations between Mbappe and PSG have been tense since the French forward said last month he would not renew his contract, which expires at the end of next season, when he could leave Paris for free. PSG president Nasser Al-Khelaifi has said they will not let him go for free after the club spent 180 million euros to sign him. According to media reports, the Parisian club will put up the 24-year-old for sale as of now, as they believe he has already agreed on terms to join Real Madrid for free next summer. PSG representatives did not immediately reply when contacted by Reuters for comment. Brazilian forward Neymar, another big name tipped to leave the club, has been included in coach Luis Enrique's squad, set to play against Cristiano Ronaldo Al Nassr on Tuesday in Japan. PSG will face Japan League's Cerezo Osaka and Serie A side Inter Milan before travelling to South Korea to take on Jeonbuk Motors. And in athletics, Kenya's Olympic champion Faith Kipyegon smashed the women's mile world record at the Diamond League in Monaco. The 29-year-old crossed the line in 4 minutes, 7.64 seconds, beating Sifan Hassan's 2019 record by almost 5 seconds. Hassan's 4 minutes, 12.33 seconds record was also set in Monaco. Kipyegon, a double Olympic and world 1,500-meter champion, has already set new world records in the 1,500-meter and 5,000-meter this year. Kipyegon, who was embraced by her fellow competitors after the race, has now broken 3 world records in just 2 months, including the 1,500-meter and 5,000-meter. Scotland's Laura Muir came home fourth in 4 minutes, 15.24 seconds to set a new British record, while Melissa Courtney Bryant also beat the old British record while setting a new Welsh record of 4 minutes, 16.38 seconds in 7th. The next Diamond League event takes place in London on Sunday as athletes continue to build towards the World Championships in Budapest between 19 to 27th August. And in our business segment, P-hailing companies required to explain low rider delivery rate claims. Stay with us. And once again in business, it is vital to have state governments that are aligned with the federal government in order to expedite the country's goals of becoming a high-income nation by 2028. Economy Minister Rafizi Ramli said it is a lot easier to expedite growth when the state and federal governments are on the same page. Rafizi cited Pulau Pinang as an example, saying it was easier to achieve that in the island state, with the state being mature in the economic sense.
It requires very close cooperation between the state and the federal, because no one can pull this off on its own. The state cannot do it on their own. Federal cannot do it without states cooperation, kan?
And kita sebenarnya
He said this to reporters after attending the midterm review engagement session of the 12th Malaysia Plan in Georgetown today. Meanwhile, Rafizi said his ministry is ready to cooperate with the Pulau Pinang government on a number of transportation projects.
Saya belum lagi mendapat butiran dan ia akan melalui proses, tapi bila butiran itu sampai, insya-Allah Kementerian Ekonomi, Kementerian Pengangkutan dan akan bekerjasama dengan Kerajaan Pulau Pinang untuk kita merealisasikan visi ini, untuk melihat masalah-masalah pengangkutan dan logistik di Pulau Pinang ini dapat dirungkai, kerana itu akan berjaya melonjakkan potensi ekonomi Pulau Pinang untuk masa.
Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim has asked for a week for him to meet hailing companies to discuss rider delivery rates claimed to have been reduced of late. The Prime Minister said he wants a clear explanation directly from the companies on the issue, which hailing riders said has become a burden.
Okey, bagi saya 1 minggu, saya akan panggil semua e-hailing company. Saya akan jumpa di pejabat Perdana Menteri. Bagi saya tempoh 1 minggu, saya tetapkan masa, saya jumpa dia, saya nak sampaikan pandangan saudara bahawa rate itu terlalu rendah.
Speaking at the Himpunan Rider Madani Selangor event, he said that he needed to find out why the 7 ringgit rate has been reduced to 6 ringgit, and the companies must clarify this with the Prime Minister. On a separate note, Dato Sri Anwar said the government had also allocated 1 million ringgit to appoint an informal secretariat to coordinate issues related to hailing in an effort to ensure the welfare of workers in the industry is taken care of. He said the delivery riders can choose a party they deem suitable to be appointed as a secretariat to represent them. The government will continue to be committed in reducing dependence on imported food supply to ensure it is balanced with the country's production. Agriculture and Food Security Minister Dato Sri Muhammad Sabu said the effort will continue to be carried out in line with the National Agri-Food Policy 2021 to 2030 or NAP 2.0 to improve income growth and better quality of life for food producers. He said that the supply of eggs in the country is recovering. The government is addressing the supply of rice as exporting countries such as India and Vietnam have reduced their exports to accommodate the needs of the people in their own countries.
Kita dapat reduce kalau daging, beras, kita dapat kurangkan itu dan kita pula kalau boleh, kalau kita import tinggi, ekspor tinggi itu tak apa. Sekarang ekspor kita tak seimbang lagi dengan import. Saya nampak sekarang aquaculture kita dah mula capai tahap yang agak memuaskan. Macam ikan dalam sangkar, ternakan udang dan sebagainya.
As such, he said the government is providing infrastructure such as irrigation system and roads in Muda Agricultural Development Authority, MADA, worth 3 billion ringgit to ensure the success of 5 rice planting seasons in 2 years on a large scale in the country. Dato Sri Muhammad said this to reporters after visiting the group maize farming project in Kampung Palo, Tanah Merah today. Elaborating on the program, he said the maize planting project in Kampung Palo, which covers an area of 32 hectares, had started in 2007 through the establishment of a cooperative by cultivating various types of crops such as maize, long beans, pumpkins and various types of yams. Malaysia Airports Holdings Berhad's MAHB network of airports recorded over 10 million passengers in June 2023, the highest since the global shutdown in March 2020. MAHB's network of airports in Malaysia and Turkey continued to showcase consistent passenger growth by recording a new high of 4.9 million total international passenger movements for June 2023, an increase of 7.1% from the preceding month. Meanwhile, total domestic passenger movements maintained above the 5 million mark for the second consecutive month in June 2023 at 5.3 million. Malaysia Airports Managing Director Dato Iskandar Mizal Mahmud said the network of airports is progressing in tandem with the gradual global and regional traffic recovery. He said the total passenger movements for the first half of 2023 for airports in Malaysia recorded 38.9 million passengers as international traffic gained ground supported by positive developments, while the domestic sector continued to lead traffic recovery momentum. Dato Iskandar also said the recommencement of 45 airlines and the commencement of 2 new airlines, namely TUA Air and Transnusa, boosted total airline seat capacity recovery to 75% at 50.5 million in first half of 2023. China's external debt structure is undergoing rational improvement, with the risks generally controllable, according to spokeswoman for the State Administration of Foreign Exchange, Wang Chunying. Wang, who is also Deputy Director of the administration, noted that in the first half of 2023, China's external debts are expected to remain relatively stable. Data show that China posted $2.5 trillion in outstanding full-scale external debts at the end of the first quarter, an increase of $38.2 billion or 1.6% over the end of last year. Wang said that judged from the debt types, the growth of external debts in recent years mainly comes from foreign investors' investment in domestic bonds, most of which are medium and long-term. In terms of maturity, the proportion of medium and long-term external debts also rose. As far as the types of currencies were concerned, the proportion of external debts in the Chinese yuan was at a historically high level. By the end of 2022, China's foreign debt service ratio, debt ratio, liability ratio, and the ratio of short-term foreign debts to foreign exchange reserves were all within the international safety line, and the foreign debts were relatively safe. Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla revealed that tornado damage this week had almost completely destroyed the drug maker's warehouse in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, but that production facilities do not seem to have suffered any damage. Bourla told the news conference in Rocky Mount that crews are working to restore power to the plant, but it will be a monumental task to repair the damage. Bourla added that it will take weeks to restart facilities at the plant, even if there is no structural damage. The Rocky Mount plant is one of the largest factories to sterile injectable medicines in the world. Products produced there include anesthesia, painkillers, and anti-infective medicines for use in hospitals. According to the company's website, nearly 25% of Pfizer's sterile injectables used in U.S. hospitals are produced there. And that concludes Malaysia Tonight. In our top story, do not drag royal institution into politics. Now, before we go, we leave you with visuals from the Comic-Con in San Diego, where comic books, video games and colourful cosplay outfits took centre stage at the giant pop culture event. Till then, I'm Brenda Lepol, Malaysia Madani, Tekat Perpaduan Penuhi Harapan. Thanks for watching.